Hello everyone, my name is Heather and today is finally booth day. So it is summertime and I've been spending time with the kids while I'm not working, so that's why I have not been coming to the booth other than to pick up my checks, make my payment, and refill a little bit of the metaphysical stuff. I did make a crystal cabinet, which did take me some time, but I did not show because I had my child with me and I don't want to have them in the video. So I am going to show you the crystal cabinet that I made today. And I'm also going to show you some of the vintage stuff that I'm taking in today, which is the first time in a few months that I've brought anything in. I do have a few things here that I just bought that I'm going to go ahead and clean while I'm talking to you. So for the past few weeks, two months, the vintage stuff has not been selling for me. So like I said before, I live in Florida and we are a very seasonal area. So right now the metaphysical stuff is doing really well for me because a lot of younger people shop here and a lot of people are into that right now. So if you can put any kind of metaphysical stuff into your booths, I suggest that you do that because it is selling really well. So things like incense, candles, crystals, anything with like moons or evil eyes, things like that, is doing really well. So I'm here again to refill my crystal chips. So I'm going to show you what that looks like and what I use, so maybe you can add that into your booth. So these are just some things that I stopped at Teen Challenge the other day and picked up, and I forgot to take inside to clean. So I'm just going to give them a nice wipe down with my antibacterial wipes and get them as clean as I can in the car. So this is a milk glass bowl for a stand mixer made by GE. So I only paid like $2 for this, so I'm probably not going to get much more than that, but you know, here we are. And then I also found a blue cornflower pie plate, and this design sells really well for me. It's probably the best grossing design, so if you come across it, I do recommend that you buy it, especially if you get it for cheap. So this plate I got for $4. Well, it was $4, but it was also half off because it was a yellow ticket that day. And so I paid $2 for it, and I sell these for about $12. So it's a nice little profit. I know it's like it's so easy to find in the thrift stores, yet it sells really well for me. So maybe these people just don't shop at thrift stores, or like I don't know where they think we get this stuff from, but you know, pie plates and loaf pans are pretty hard to come by, so that could be why. The other dishes are pretty easy to come by. They do take a little bit longer to sell, but these and like the loaf pans, they sell pretty quick. So that's, and the bowl. Whew, sorry. And then ice buckets also do well for me, especially if they look mid-century. I did have a really nice Dansk teak wood, which is like I think it's Danish. And that one I sold for $95. This is just a cheap one, but it's like wood grain, so it kind of looks a little mid-century. I got it for 99 cents, so I think I'm just gonna put it in my booth for like 10 bucks. So that day when I went to the thrift store, I did also get a juice container, but it's way too dirty. I have to definitely take that inside to actually clean. So crystals. I decided to test out the larger crystals in my booth by bringing in some from my own collection. They were ones that I either had double of, or I wasn't really couldn't really find a good spot for them. They didn't really match, you know, some of my other ones, or just wasn't feeling it, you know. So I brought them in, and I did not price them very high. I priced them about what I paid because they weren't from a wholesale order. They were like ones that I just paid full regular like price for. So I was only going to make like $5 or so off of each one, and they all got stolen. And I was really upset because they were ones from my own personal collection that I would have just kept, you know, because I bought them for a reason. I had to have at some point felt connected to it or liked it. And, you know, I just decided to kind of thin down my own collection a little bit and share. And someone stole them all. And it was $450 worth of crystals that they stole out of my booth. So that happened as like I had already placed a wholesale order that took like a week and a half to come. And when I came back to my booth to kind of assess how I was going to put in this huge order into my booth, I realized that all those crystals had been stolen. So now the new crystals from the wholesale order are locked up in a cabinet, and they're not selling well. And I think it's because they're locked up, and I'm just afraid to unlock the cabinet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a few of them out, and I'm going to put them on a table next to the crystal chips and see what happens, if they get stolen or not. And I also have a sign that I'm going to put up next to that says that there is the crystal cabinet, and to please ask the front for assistance if they are interested, because they're more than happy to help you. Okay, so ice bucket. Okay, all right, so that's the stuff I'm going to be taking in that is new. I also have some other stuff. I just showing you that because I was cleaning it, but I do have some other stuff that I'm going to be bringing in, and I'm going to show you that as we put it in. So I found this really cool toaster oven that is from like the 70s or so. Woo, okay, so I'm just trying to get to the crystal stuff so I can show you. So they're the metaphysical stuff. So this is the little sign I made, just a handwritten cheap sign. All right, so these are the tea lights that I make. They are $3 for a pack of 3, so $1 each. They have herbs and a little crystal chip in each one with different scents. I also sell a lot of these abalone shells because people burn incense in them. So I do sell those for a good amount. And all right, so these are the crystal chips that I'm going to be refilling today. So it's just a little bag, and these will last a good amount of time because the bottles that they go in are very small. And I've got some of the bottles here, so I'll show you if I can dig them out. All right, so these are the bottles. Okay, so let me explain how this works. So this is the bottle. It's about I think it's 1 milliliter bottles that you can buy on Amazon. They cost $20 for a pack of 100. They do have a little bit of a larger opening. I can stick my pinky in it, so that's about the size of the chips that you want to get. And they are $5 each. So they take this little bottle, and then I have a little thing set up with all these little different crystal chips, and they can fill the bottle in there. So the chips I pay, you can find these on Etsy. People sell them. You can also find them in other places, Facebook groups and things that people sell. And I pay about $5 for each one of these bags, depending on what the material is, because some material is a little bit more expensive. But I pay about $5 for these and $20 for 100 of these. So selling 5 of these pays for the box of 100, and then selling another 5 pays for all of these, and the rest is all profit. So it does work out pretty well. And then the abalone shells, I find these at home stores in a bag with like, I think there's like, I don't know, 16 of them in there, and it's like $6.99 for the bag, and then I sell them for $4 each. So it's a pretty good profit also. All right, so we're gonna take all this stuff inside. I have my tickets all ready to be printed. I'm gonna go grab a shopping cart so that I can get all of this stuff in easier. And then we'll take a look at my booth, and I'll show you what's changed, the crystal cabinet, and all of the fun stuff. So thank you so much. I'll see you soon. So here is our little metaphysical section. We still have the wax melts, some loose sage. Those are the tea lights that I just put in, the shells I just put in. This is some loose incense that I make. And then we have in the little dishes is amethyst chunks and little crystal mushrooms that are bagged, and some tumbles up here on those. Not much of that has changed. We have some oracle decks and some hands, some pictures. And then somebody bought the light blue cabinet that I had, so I moved that little table over there and threw some stuff on it. And this is the crystal cabinet with towers and palm stones and some carvings. Down at the bottom is still some vintage stuff because I didn't have enough crystals to put in there yet. I do have tickets on the back, but I also placed tickets on the front that say what they are and how much they are to kind of help people know what's in there and see if they're interested before asking. That way all the prices are visible. I feel like that's a little better. Tried to get a variety of colors and different things. And then this shelf I bought from the mall. Somebody was selling, and I just moved some of that stuff that was in the cabinet. And then these are the crystal chips section. I have a few more of these, so I could add a few more extras. But for now, this is doing pretty well. The little container with the jar and kind of a description, and the mess that people make. My sign pointing to the cabinet, and I took a few of the crystals out. So I do have that bucket there in case someone messes up. They can dump it in there instead of making a mess somewhere else. And this is kind of my little clearance section. And then the little papers say what each stamp means, how much % off. And then we're still going with this mid-century thing, and not much is selling of this stuff. So I think the next time I come, when I have more time, I am gonna move that stuff out and put something else in.